You can straight away see that this is an original video, especially if you are into aesthetics. Look at this light here and look at this corner of of whatever the wall is thing. But this is where I sit right now, and this is where I had this feeling that it would be a good moment to record something. And yes, I have, as usual, I have no notes. I just have a topic, but I know that when I record and when I just speak out things, things fall, I wanted to say apart, but things fall into their place. It's been a long day for me. I basically was sitting on the sofa for at least 8 hours, just getting up ever so often to just get some more drink, go to the toilet or so on. But one thought that kind of is ending my day is this. I know that my father is dying, and he's just getting weaker and weaker, and especially because I see him every so months or so. I am thinking that this change is something that I can see very visibly. I'm not a specialist in people dying, but I can see the change in the color of his eyes. The color is fading. The color is fading, but he also is losing weight, and he just doesn't want to get up from bed. Not so much as before. Of course, my parents are now they are elderly. And the question that I have the question that I ask myself is this: how? Actually, I'm just thinking because, do you see? I think the most important is to stop before we ask a question, because what is the question that we ask will define the answer that we get. So I'm just thinking, what is the question that I am asking actually the best question I should ask? This conflicts me so much. If you know me a little bit, I could just spend hours thinking about all of that. But so far, the question that I have asked myself is this: how do I use the time that it's left, that I have with my parents, especially with my dad, to the best of what we have? So that's the question for today, like how to use this, let's call it earthy time, so that this time is used in such a way that in a few years' time I'm not looking back at it and thinking, oh my God, what have I not done? And the first answer that I am giving myself is that I need to give him time. I need to give this relationship time. That relationship, it's not that it needs me. I need it myself. When in 10 years' time I look back at this time. Do you see what I mean? It's I need that. That's the first answer. And of course, straight away all the practicalities are opening in my head. How on earth will I do that? And I say that with all the anger that I have, because the truth is, and I hate that. I hate it so much. But, and again, I'm actually questioning myself. What is it that I just had in my thought? Some kind of I don't trust this, what I had in my head, but I had this thing which I don't trust, And that thing that I had, which I do not trust, is that my freedom is gone, that I do not have my freedom. So, for example, I cannot freely travel, you see, or at least that is the belief that I have, but also the belief that I am very suspicious about. But let's just make it kind of clear that ultimately I have this belief, which might not be true, that traveling for me, it's not so easy, that there is what? That there is this constraint or constraints that I have. But let's go back to the original question. So the original question is, if that was that question, but how do you use this time best, right? How do you use this time best? And the answer that I gave is just create that time, like give that time to that relationship. And then I got lost in, but how do I do that? But before I go back to how, what else can I do? Hmm. Hmm. I know. Okay. So the first one is give it time, meaning travel there and spend physical time there. The second answer is just increase the number of phone calls, isn't it? How obvious. How obvious. Does anyone laughs at me now? I'm like 44 this year and I'm just like, these answers are so plainly simple, and yet I have to publicly figure that out by recording this YouTube video. How sad. Well, I love saying myself well, telling myself well. But yes, increase the phone call frequency, isn't it? So, okay, so we have two. What else? What else? You see, a thing that I have done just yesterday, actually, is I sent sent my parents some gifts. Not like, expensive gifts, but they like a specific tea. So I got them some tea. They have some pains, so they will get some. Actually, what is it that I send them? Like, forgot what it's called. Tiger balm. Tiger balm. The red one for muscle pains. And that made me feel better. So the third idea is not maybe about the gifts specifically, but what are the little things that I can make their life a little bit easier? Or because you see, I think that this is maybe, and this is where I think I will stop, because I don't want to, funny enough, I don't want to overwhelm myself. But kind of the third point is, and this is what I'm noticing, it's not only about like spending physical time there. It's not only about just increasing the frequency of the phone calls, but it's almost like my parents need, and I don't want to say the most, but what they are missing is somebody to help them think, help them to make decisions. Maybe not, me saying that that's what they have to do, but me, it's funny that I'm saying that. I actually don't know why. Me maybe expressing more clearly what I think would be good for them to do. It goes into simple things, but it goes more into bigger things. Like, you know, the simple things. I was basically thinking my parents can struggle with as simple things as changing the ink in the printer, right? My parents can struggle with knowing how to use the massage chair because it has these very complex instructions. But besides this rather simple things, which are in itself very complex and still determine the quality of the life, there are bigger decisions. Like, should my dad be and continue to be on the medication that he's in? Should I advise that we push towards, you know, decreasing it? That's actually my view. Should I express more clearly to my parents that I do not believe that keeping 40 goats on the farm is something that they can reasonably deal with at this stage? You know, and I guess what I am most unhappy with myself, if you can say that, is that, yeah, here we go. I always have a kaching when I record these videos. I have my kaching. My kaching is this: I do not spend enough time thinking about what problems or challenges my parents have. Not because they don't tell me. It's because I do not think of their life enough to know what challenges they have that they don't even realize they have, but which still determines their life so badly. I'll tell you just a simple example. My parents live in a massive house of, you know, many, many bedrooms. Do you know how expensive that is to upkeep this house? And I'm not saying that my parents have to sell, change, or whatever, but I'm thinking my parents are not really maybe seeing that where I do. And without even telling them, I could help them by thinking, hey, what are the ways for them to manage that house with more simplicity? I'm just thinking even about the electrics, you know, or gas, you know, when you just have some of parts of the house turn off from paying the bill from the electricity. I'm thinking about somebody coming in and cleaning the house. Do you see what I mean? So the third thing that's coming to my mind is this category of just, here we go. So here we go. I will not tell you what that is. I will just repeat. So the first one was spend physical time with them. The second one was increase the phone call number. And the third one, this one that just I realize now by talking it through, is spend more time thinking about them. God, spend more time thinking about them. You know, that's not something anyone can check. I am the only one to know how much I am thinking of them. And of course, I'm getting emotional because I know the answer to this question. I hate those YouTube videos when people just get emotional. Do you? You can dislike this video. Right. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. The third one is just think of them. And lots of things will kind of fall into this category, you know, like getting the things that can make their life a little bit easier. Thinking about the big categories and small categories, almost like, you know, atomic habits and the processes that they have in place. So that is my video for today, and I have to thank you, the invisible, not existing viewers, because me imagining that you exist, even if I've never posted this video, it just makes my planning so much more coherent. And for those viewers who know me, and by no, like as of today, I think I have 35 magical subscribers, which are mainly people that never watch anything, which is still amazing because look, I just came up with my plan just because I think that you exist. I was very quiet, and I was very quiet because I worked for the last, I think I stopped recording in summer last year. And that's almost what, September, October, November, December. It's almost 6 months. And that's because I was intensively working on something. This is connected with the grief that I was going through. And I can't explain this in better words, but and I don't want to go into details of this in this video. I'm sure that if the time will come, I will speak out. But I really needed to spend time figuring it all out. And I feel I am emerging from that because I just wanted to say I did. But I did chunk of work really really spending this time on this grieving process that I went through, what it means, what it really meant. And I do feel that some door is just now closing. Yeah, so that's kind of the message for the viewers who know know this about me. You know, as with every lost, it might be transformed, but it kind of never leaves you. But anyway, that will be the end from me for today. Thank you for hanging out with me if you did. I hope you enjoyed the horrible lighting and the edge of the wall, which is a brilliant setting. And now the worst job for me is to bloody do this. What is it called? Forgot already. You know, this thing that you have to put on for people to click? Whatever that's called. I forgot already, even though I made a video about that. What is it called? Does anybody know? I forgot the word. What is that thing that you put on YouTube videos? It's not Snapchat. Whatever that is, I have to do that, and I absolutely hate doing them. By the way, I'm not editing this video, and it's going to go as it is. I now know how to edit the video, and I do enjoy editing the video, but I do not want to do that. And because I do not want to do it, and I think it's absolutely fine for me to say I do not want to do it, and I am uploading the video as it is recorded, that's what I will do. So again, that was me being me, I guess. But anyway, thank you so much, and bye for now.